Thank you. Going over to the political part podcast, you have Vivek on the details of the TikTok bill. Now, Vivek is responding to Mike Lee, and Mike Lee got 1.6 million views for this original post. Mike Lee said, quote, "I'm open to legislation preventing the CCP from using TikTok to collect our data, but not this bill. Always be suspicious when anyone in Washington declares they need special powers because of an emergency, especially if both parties are cheerleading it," unquote. Interestingly enough, that in and of itself got 1.6 million views, which is pretty good, but it got 3.7 thousand likes, which is one of the worst ratios I've seen in quite some time. It's almost as bad as a Chris Christie ratio, heaven forbid. And yeah, I can't but think it should be, well, not to say I'm doing my part, but there, I did like that as well, because again, I can't but think, yeah, expanding the government powers, when has that helped us in the past couple decades? Now, Vivek responded to that, and Vivek said, let me pull it up really quick. Vivek said, quote, "There's a real possibility that after TikTok is divested to new owners, the platform continues to work exactly as it does today. Yet we vastly expanded federal power to punish disfavored actors in the future. Here's a solution. The Senate should propose a competing bill that bans any tech company from transferring U.S. user data to any government and require timely public disclosure of any government demands to moderate, amplify, or suppress user-generated content. This is the way," unquote. And that got near a million. So I got 955,900 views, but only 16,000 likes, which, again, for Vivek is actually lower than usual. Now, I did use the Urban Dictionary, or Urban Dictionary, I believe some call it, and I think this is the way, is maybe a reference to Star Trek, which is a very popular thing that has to do with space and creatures and Wookiees. Kidding, I know it's Star Wars, but nevertheless, I think, again, that is an important note, because, again, if you just divest TikTok, it means, okay, now a U.S. entity owns it, but if nothing changes in practice, what good was that really? And I don't even know, come to think we're going to see a lot of lawsuits. Of course, obviously TikTok and the parent company are going to fight this. But yeah, we have a lot of American companies, or so-called American companies, that willingly just send all their data over to China. Most famously, TikTok a couple years ago, it was leaked that one of the founders allegedly said, "Our job isn't to stand for American values. Our job is just to have an app, make money, and proliferate." And Airbnb famously gave up a lot of user data to China just to do business in China as a contingency. But I think Vivek has a really good. I think he has a really good point, because again, you want to banning the individual app would be like whack-a-mole, or just putting a band-aid on the problem. I think you really do want to address the actual issue, not the symptom, not the actual. You want to treat the disease, not the symptom, so to say. Which I'm kind of astonished. He only got 16,000 likes. So maybe he got ratioed, perhaps. But let's see out in the comments and find out. Now, one of the first comments comes from Paul Zupa saying, quote, "The current TikTok legislation needs to be rejected in the Senate, or every app will be susceptible to being banned for purely political reasons. The only reason why Democrats and rhinos are supporting the current legislation so they can use it to censor is blatant," unquote, getting 915 likes. Which, yeah, another moderately ADHD comment or thought. Yeah, anytime Democrats and Republicans both agree on something, I start to get pretty suspicious. Because, again, there are a lot of rhinos, which are pejoratively known as Republicans in name only, where, yeah, they say they're Republican, but they vote for Democrat, which is, again, is kind of a snake move. Just run how you want to actually govern, or run how you actually want to vote, so that way you're not tricking your constituents left and right. Interestingly enough, it seems to only happen on the right. But nevertheless, when everyone in the government agrees on something, I kind of get suspicious, like, why was it ever helped us again? But nevertheless, now you have DV saying, quote, "I thought conservatives were supposed to be against the expansion of federal power. Why did so many vote in favor of this bill? What's really going on here?" Unquote, getting 336 likes, which, yes, exactly. Well, there's also a lot of conservatives who say they're conservative, but not really, which is especially disappointing in politics. I can't help but reminisce on the 1934 Firearms Act, or NFA, National Firearms Act, which, again, it's almost 100 years now. Republicans, they say they want gun rights, they say they believe in the Second Amendment. They haven't repealed that. And again, within my lifetime, the Republicans have had the House, the Senate, and the White House. And yet, it still takes months, weeks to get a suppressor. And you still have to do extra paperwork for a safety device. Ridiculous, to say the least. Our founding fathers would be, if we could actually harness the power of our founding fathers rolling over their graves, that'd almost be akin to perpetual motion. We never need solar panels or oil or anything, just power the country off of that. I'm only moderately kidding, of course. Now you have liberty-loving lady saying, quote, exactly, the current bill is the most dangerous bill since the Patriot Act, quote unquote, getting 184 likes, which, yes, the Patriot Act was the most ironically named piece of legislation in my lifetime. It sounded patriotic. How could it be bad? It pretty much destroyed most semblance anyone in the United States has of anything of privacy or personal security. You have Shugal8720 saying, quote, if they're so worried about their data, then why allow voting machines? The Chinese have all of our information, including social security numbers, through voting machines, unquote, getting 447 likes, which is another topic for another time. There's a whole area on X, Twitter, and whole social media, whole fascinating phenomenon around the discussion of what's the most efficient way for votes to be counted, what softwares and what technologies should be utilized, and what contracts should be given out, and should the processing devices be made in the USA? Should we be even contracting this out? So a very in-depth topic. Perhaps I'll cover that another time. You also have Mechanism saying, quote, an obvious false flag to allow government around the world to give themselves the power to censor entire social media platforms. It will 100%. It will at 100%. You're onto it. So is Elon and Trump, unquote, getting 78 likes, despite there are a couple grammar errors in there. I tried to make it sense, but nevertheless. Do one or two more here. Wealth Turtle says, quote, TikTok is the least of Americans' problems, unquote, getting 98 likes, which, now granted, there are a lot of problems in the United States, including the ever exponentially increasing in our debt under Republicans and Democrats. They can't seem to stop spending money. But nevertheless, least of our problems? Now, there is a great list of the problems, obviously. I still think it's top 10. I mean, the amount of negative impact it's had on the youth, I mean, it just is terrible. It's people think watching TV was bad in the 90s. I mean, at least some program had a modicum of values and some interesting things in it. I mean, TikTok for kids, it is just making them dumber. It's making them adopt literally like tics, which perhaps we shouldn't be too surprised it's not false advertising. They're saying that in the name, but they're quite literally adopting mental diseases because they're being so impacted by it and they're so addicted to it. Now, the antithesis is TikTok in China, where it actually makes kids smart, teaches them it's cool to be in science or engineering, it's cool to love your country. In the United States, it's the exact opposite. So I still think it's probably top 20 issues or problems in the United States. You guys have Burt Macklin saying, quote, log off grifter, you wanted to ban it until Orange Man told you not to, unquote, getting 21 likes. Now, that being said, banning it is, again, banning it, yes. Now, what this bill is doing is perhaps more. Some people are saying it still limits it to the one thing. You also have Ian Miles Chong saying, quote, get the problem at the source, unquote, getting 29 likes. So here. Dave Benner, nemesis of neocons, has the little meme of the guy who's putting on clown makeup. And it says, 5 or 4 hilarious statements. It says, 1, the Patriot Act was created to catch terrorists. 2, fact checkers will correct misleading claims. 3, 15 days to slow the spread. 4, TikTok ban will protect Americans. And that got 108 likes. Let's see here. So interestingly enough, I'm not seeing a lot of contrarian statements or people that are quote-unquote ratioing or roasting Vivek. Now, it looks like there's a lot less comments than usual. Let's see here. You just have, we'll do one more. XY, it's a guy, says, quote, they should make it illegal for companies to move or sell or give away user data. Problem solved, unquote, getting 11 likes. Which, yes, that would be the core issue that would solve a lot of these. So it'll be interesting to see. This is, I mean, it's already passed one branch of the government, it'll go to the other. Then, I mean, all sources, I mean, Biden says he's going to sign it if he gets to his desk. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of the day, does it actually become implemented? And again, it doesn't seem to, it wouldn't change the actual operation day to day of the app. It would just change the ownership. That's how I'm currently interpreting the current bill. But let me know in the comments. Do you think it'd be better just to ban it altogether? Is it good enough just to divest it so it's the same app, but now it's owned by an American entity? Be interested to see. But as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to let me know how I can make the show better and better, and also help with the magical YouTube algorithm. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.